Horseshoes and hand grenades, ladies and gentlemen. But I tell you, if they didn't at least fight at the end, my tone would have been way different going into this thing. Cowboys lost to the Ravens. Let's talk about it. Meow. Son of a biscuit. Tater tots.
Yep.
What are the other ones, Aisha?
Muffins.
Muffins.
Tartar sauce.
Fiddlesticks.
Fiddlesticks and tartar sauce.
Yeah, it's a lot of stuff.
Dog.
Doggone it. That's what my grandma's
Dog.
like.
Dadgummit.
She don't cuss.
It would have been, if the last quarter of that game didn't happen, this would have been a different post-game show. But boy, I sure would have liked to get a stop on 2nd and 9 and see what kind of post-game show we could have had.
3rd and 6.
Come on in, everybody. Get in the chat. Get in the chat.
You know, Jeff, you said that we was a 3rd and 9 or a 3rd and 6 away. What about a not CeeDee Lamb fumble in the red zone? In the second,
we have a lot of seedy
quarter.
things
What
to
about
get to.
those?
We have a lot of seedy things to get to. We had a super chat just to start things off where he said something along the lines of, where is the one right there? Garbage time comeback. This team sucks. 5 and 12. Yeah, before the fourth quarter started, I was pretty much.
I don't agree with the
that?
garbage time thing because, number one, the Ravens starters were out there. Number two, one of the things that the Ravens have struggled with is closing games. So they wanted to close this game. They want to keep their guys out there. So I don't really buy into that. But feel how you feel.
Toxic, of course, is in there.
Where's toxic?
Or toxic. Is it bad these Dallas ass whippings make me happy? Real change only comes when the front office is crushed under the weight of their own logic.
I told you people be happy.
Well, see, that's not Toxic Tom. That's Marcus Hardison. Like, there's like 5 toxic people in our thingamajig.
Many
whatever.
toxics.
And they're different types of toxic.
So that's
different toxics.
That's Marcus Hardison. Shouts out to him. And he's normally not as toxic, but he's toxic when the Cowboys bring this out of him, you know?
Yeah.
So I may be toxic Vash Lombardi for a segment of this post-game show, guys,
Yeah.
but there's some positives, there's some good things that we can talk about, but there's going to be a lot of toxic Vash
Do we
before
have
we're
to?
done with
Okay.
it.
Yeah. Oh, we didn't even. Hi, I'm Jeff, and that's Aisha, and that's Vach. Obviously, everybody, welcome to the party. Yeah, CeeDee's a hell of a topic today.
That was ugly.
What happened, Jeff? What happened with CD?
CeeDee got checked out pretty early. And what's weird is when they made the comeback, and like that's fine if you're that was garbage time, and I don't give them credit for garbage time. That didn't happen. I mean, well, if they get one more stop, that garbage time is going to win the game. They just didn't get that stop. But you could do that because I do think there's something to the garbage. Garbage time is just trying to be dismissive of a guy that you want to be dismissive of. So that's on you guys. But the idea that a team thought, oh, we smoked him, we got it, we're done here, and then onside kick. We were playing our lazy ass. We're not doing anything on defense. You scored once. Oh, you recovered onside. Oh, I do think it's hard to rev it back up. And that if they were full go that whole time, that comeback probably doesn't happen. But whatever. I don't need to use that to take credit away from a quarterback who's really good. What got wild was on the 2 drives where they scored to give themselves a chance, CeeDee was off the field or when he was on the field not making plays. And I don't know what to do with that because CeeDee's awesome. I'm going to start there. We have to do this with everybody because everybody thinks that you're being mean to people.
Yes.
If you were watching a Maverick show, Luke is awesome and a crybaby. CeeDee's awesome, and his body language and emotional seesaw can be poison.
It was on full display today.
So
He
when
was
he
upset.
gets mad at other people for messing up, now he's out of it. Then when he messes up, now what? Who are you going to yell at now?
Yeah.
And then you get to the 4th quarter, it's like, oh, actually, we're alive in this thing, and we got a chance. And it just seems like he can't get his brain back right to where he didn't catch a ball with his hands, and then it's a drop. And, like, now he's just playing normal football emotion where it's like, oh, crap, my bad. Oh, no, what's going on? What's going on? And the answer is your emotions have you out of whack, and they have for most of the day. And so that was weird watching where it's like, part of it was, I think, Baltimore thought they had it. Now they went into their boring defense where it's like, okay, whatever. If you score that score, we're just going to run plays. They didn't see an onside kick coming with like 9 minutes left. And part of it is that. But I don't know. That worries me about a guy because what are the odds that that's going to change for somebody who's been in the league for 4 years and already got paid? You got to be locked in. You have to be here. You have to be part of why we come back in these games.
To be fair, CD should not be pouty. But that's a part of like the wide receiver genotype that those guys can kind of pout a little bit, right?
Yeah.
So what I want to know is what coach or play caller or head coach goes over there to fix that, right? Once upon a time when your DBs were playing a little weird, Chris Richard was a guy that would come over there and try to fix the tone. It wouldn't work because Chris Richard wasn't all that great at his job, but at least it was his job to go over to fix the tone a little bit, right? So if I'm Mike McCarthy, right, and Mike delegates a lot. He leaves the job to other people on the staff, right? But if I'm Mike McCarthy, right, maybe getting the ball to CeeDee Lamb down the field is not working. Maybe he's in his head, maybe he's pouting. Can I jet sweep CeeDee Lamb or something? Can I just hand the ball to him and say, hey, 88, we need you to get back in this game?
You gonna fumble?
Hey, look, I feel you, but but when somebody fumbles, you say, "Hey, don't worry about it. I need you." We've heard this a bunch.
Yeah.
And if CD's the pouty type, it is what it is because you're not gonna cut him. He's a superstar on your team, so you're not cutting him. You're going, "Hey, we need you. Get back in the game. Get back in the game. Get back in the game." If Brandon Aubrey start pouting, you just not gonna stop kicking 60s. So you need CD. So cool. Let me do something that works for CD. I'm never gonna say, and no coach should ever say, "Oh, CD's pouting. Let's get Turpin involved." It worked today. But I'm not going to do that over a 15, 16 game sample size, right?
Yeah.
So I just want to say for everybody that's watching right now, CD should not be pouting. But I would love it. I would love it if my coach had a plan for when CD's pouting. Just like if Dak's throwing picks, there's a plan for if Dak's throwing picks.
I mean, my thing is like a lot of his frustration came from, I mean, Dak was passing into really tight windows all day. Right. And again, the Ravens DBs came to play, but what the heck was the game plan? You know people are going to bracket CeeDee Lamb at this point. So what was the game plan to kind of open up this offense? We talked about it during the game. There were no stagnant formations. There was no motion. There was no shifts. There was no nothing. There was nothing to force or stress the defense. So, yeah, like Dak, every throw that he threw today was in a tight window. There was only a few towards the end of the game, clearly, that were open for him. So that's where some of the frustration came from as well. But as far as CeeDee goes, I'm sure that Robert Prince pulled him to the side and said something to him or whatever. But to your point, Vach, I don't think that's some delegating stuff. I think it got to come from.
Head coach got to go.
I think it got to come from the big dog
Yeah.
when it's that bad and it's happening in that way. And yeah, y'all heard me. I was upset. I was like, yo, like he's not playing through the football. He's not playing through contact like that. Other guys just look like they want to play right now. Mm-hmm. Other guys Ferg looked like he wanted to play right now.
Yeah, he got banged up and missed one play and ran back out there.
So it's just like Hunter Lipke looked like he wanted to play today. Turpin seemed like he wanted to play today. And again, like we have a lot of respect for CeeDee Lamb, but to your point, Jeff, like when you see your team is kind of figuring some things out, you got to be a part of that. You can't be doing what he's doing. And we don't know. We don't know if it was a collective decision for him to not be out there, or if he said, I don't want to be out there right now, which could have been a thing as well.
Well, he was out there for some point. Well, on the first drive, after they scored, then he was like, okay, I'm in for the 2-point conversion. And it's like, okay, all right, let's see what's happening here. But yeah, that's a hard thing in sports, especially for guys who are superstars and have been their whole lives. It's hard. Yeah. Because you're used to kicking ass and taking names. Yeah. And then when stuff gets hard, it's not easy to stay level-headed.
What's this face about?
Now, Jeff. CD shouldn't be pouting, by the way. This is my camera. CD shouldn't be pouting. We don't need you a superstar football player. You a leader. We need you, boy.
Facts.
But Jeff. CD don't ever pout when the offense is being creative, though, right? CD doesn't
I don't think it has to do with creative or not. It has to do with are we winning or not.
Well, I've seen CD be very competitive in a close losing effort. I've seen CD do that. CD normally pouts when the offense is looking ridiculous.
And it looked kind of ridiculous today.
For
most of the game.
Or the defense.
I was just up there counting. I was like, man, there's no pre-snap motion. There's no creative stuff. Yeah. There's no movement. Oh, CeeDee Lamb's in the backfield, but they didn't necessarily do anything creative with him. Just a little arrow route. Like, of course, your run game's not going, so you have to lean on your passing game a little bit more. But just ask yourself, if you were CeeDee Lamb and you were doing great things at the end of last season, And in my mind, as an offensive superstar, I'm going, all right, let's build on that. Whatever we did in week 18, I ain't gonna say, postseason wild card. Whatever we did in week 18, let's build off that. But it looked like we starting the hell over from where we were week 1.
It looks like week 1 last year. Yes.
He does not deserve to be pouting, chat. But don't you get it a little bit? Because they're going to come up about you giving them passes, about you letting them slide.
No, I get it because...
That's what I do with Luka. I always have to say, remember, I love Luka.
That's what they're going to do.
Before you say what you're going to say
There's a such thing, and we see it on different sides, right? We saw it with the Saints. We saw it with the Ravens. I can tell, and I know you can tell very quickly when a team trusts their game plan, when they believe in their game plan. I personally do. I can definitely tell when they play like they give it. I almost cussed.
Yeah.
They play like they care.
A daggone.
They play like they care, and I just think that if we're not stupid, they watching the same tape we watch. They see the lack of creativity. They see that this run game can't get going. They see all these things, and I think we're starting to feel the offense feel the pressure to score, given that the defense isn't really showing that they can stop the run effectively at all.
That's another problem too.
I think that's definitely true of the quarterback. I think the fact that they once the Ravens throttled down and the Cowboys were able to march and score and then recover the first onside kick in the history of the NFL with the new onside kick rules.
Wow.
And score again. It changes the tone of the postgame a little bit, thank God, because otherwise my response to that would be...
We're quitters, we don't fight.
No, neither of those things.
Okay.
They're not good.
Okay. Oh, I don't think...
Like, that's the difference. I don't think it will... And I do think... Mike McCarthy does not give you a definitive schematic advantage, and nothing about their game plan was like, hell yeah, that was really smart and it worked great. But I think the bigger thing is the left tackle can't block, the right tackle can't block, nobody but CD can get open, nobody is a vertical threat, your running backs aren't good, you don't run block great, and the quarterback's back there fighting for his life.
Facts.
Like, that's the biggest thing, and thank God for the fourth quarter, because that doesn't have to be the whole post-game show. Because I do agree with you that, but like, I don't think that the players necessarily came out uninspired because they don't believe in something. Like, they did know what they had to do, and that's why they received instead of deferring when they've been a defer team, is because the coach went, guys, we have to score. We have to play from ahead or we're dead.
Yeah.
And so they tried. And then they committed 3 penalties.
No, you mentioned to your point.
3 penalties.
Yeah. The penalties were damning today. I mean, anytime you got something going from an offensive standpoint, there was a hold, there was a penalty somewhere. And to your point, Jeff, we talked about it in pregame. I was worried about how these tackles were going to hold up against this Ravens defense that does not get a whole bunch of pressure with 4. But if they can, it's going to be a long day for you.
Yeah.
And man, Terrence Steele and Tyler Guyton are causing so many issues with this passing offense. And you saw them in the fourth quarter. Again, I don't know if the Ravens guys are tired at that point or whatever. Or they taking their foot off the gas.
I think it's just natural human. Like, we beat their ass and we're done here.
Right.
So, and then the coach starts calling cover 2, the end.
Right.
And Dak's like, oh, you're not going to do anything?
Right.
No. And it's hard to turn it back on.
These tackles are struggling. Terrence Steele on the other side. And Tyler Guyton, it's expected with Guyton to have some stuff, but Terrence Steele is
a problem.
It's a problem. If both of your tackles are going to be bad, yes, it is a problem.
Yeah, it's a problem.
Because another thing too is that we just talked about the lack of offense from the receiver standpoint. Well, your tight end is having to chip and help out every 2 seconds, man. You're not getting good blocking from anybody outside of Brevin Spanford had some big penalties today. So your tight ends having to help out is taken away from your passing game vibes.
Sure. And I do think it's hard to play offense if your defense can't get a stop.
Yeah.
Like, they just cannot get a stop.
Facts.
Like, it's not like, okay, well, you gave up them 3 touchdowns, but you got some stops.
Yeah.
No stops.
No. And you feel the weight of the world. Like, I have to do this now and every play.
It's even more pressure. And I do feel like that's the bigger conversation here. I would love for Mike McCarthy to be better. I would love for your run game to be better and all this. But we've watched many games today, whether it be the Lions winning their game or the Niners losing or something. The common theme that I'm seeing with a lot of these games, or even the Eagles winning today, is that you may struggle a whole game. A whole ass game may look weird.
Yeah.
But you need time to figure it out, right? And I know there's some people in the chat. I love 80% of y'all, but there's 20 going, oh, well, Dak was this all game, Dak and that and that. I think Cowboys fans look at Dak Prescott like he's the only quarterback that's not allowed to figure this thing out. And every other quarterback in the league needs at least two, unless you're blowing somebody out. That's different.
Pat Mahomes can have 10 points at halftime every game of the season, but people, because they're Cowboy fans, they're not watching the other quarterbacks the way they're watching Dak.
In a truly competitive game, it's normally going to come down to the end. That's why I'm not buying into this whole garbage time stuff, because the Ravens were fighting for their life at the end of this thing. So it wasn't garbage time. It's just that, man, if 28 points wasn't on the board in the damn third quarter, this game feels different. It just feels like, oh, it's a tough game that we just barely won 21-15. But it feels like a blowout because the Ravens put so many points on you early. And that's where I think a lot of this issue is. And you just can't afford to be a stagnant offense and an old offense and a bad run game offense. And me and Jeff were watching. We're like, man, why is Jake Ferguson and Brandon Cooks like right here? Yeah. You can't have drive killers. You can't drop the football. You can't have false starts. You can't fumble at the goal line when the defense doesn't get a stop into the third quarter.
Right.
Yeah, it's true. I do want to talk about some of the things that did look the same, unfortunately. Let's knock out a few super chats, and then we'll get to some of the things that look the same. Just pop them up one at a time. What we got? Jade Litt is here. Being a Cowboys fan is like playing the NFL game on all Madden. Love the show. Thanks, guys. It can be hard.
That's a great point. Real fast though, why does it feel like we got to fight for our life for everything that we get?
No, literally, everything was so hard. Everything's so hard.
They had so many easy plays. Like, man, even the last play, man, why is this wide the hell open for them? But Turpin is this close to somebody. Tolbert is this close to somebody. Jalen Brooks got to make the biggest play of his life just to get 15, 20 yards.
Yeah, we're making it harder. The coach is making it harder. The offensive line is making it harder.
I don't know. I might talk to one of my analytics friends or something to see what offenses across the NFL offensive lines are worse than the Cowboys and how successful are they?
Because I bet there's probably 5 to 10 at least.
I'm sorry, y'all. I understand these tackles got to be better, and I get it. But I feel like we've seen teams get it done with this or less. I'm sorry. I know I'm not living in a fairy tale land.
Tyler Smith is the best guard in football. Zach Martin is a Hall of Famer, still maybe top 8 or so. Yeah. Cooper Beebe's strong, and he's not really giving up much in the middle. You got 2 mediocre tackles. Yeah. Some team got 4 bad guys.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I don't get. That's the part that I'm struggling with, is that I feel like we've seen teams get it done with less.
So their running back is better than our running back.
Mother effer.
Their quarterback runs too.
Cesar Ruiz went crazy today.
Vance, should the end of this game rid me of the 2010 vibes I was getting during this game? I don't know. We're going to talk about that next. What does that one quarter do for you? Because I know that it changed my mental health going into the postgame show.
It did, because
everything I had was not going to be a fun post-game show.
I mean, it's still not fun.
And it's still not fun.
It's still not fun.
But it's less than it would have been. But no, we'll get to that. I need to see more Turpin. He's the only one with speed and scares the defense.
Ain't nobody scared of Turpin.
If Turpin would be more consistent,
it would matter.
Actually would agree with you, because Aisha and I are going to be opposed on this. Brandon Cooks is washed.
He's over Brandon Cooks.
Brandon Cooks in man coverage, winning on the release, can't outrun starting corners. He's not a deep threat anymore.
Which is weird, because we see him go up against you. You would agree that Deron Bland is a really good corner, yes? Seen him go up against him all during camp, and it mattered.
And he won sometimes.
But my point is he's had a knee injury the last 2 years. Oh, he's had the knee injury the last 2 years coming out of camp. I wonder if that plays a role in anything that he's doing now.
All right, we have 17,000 other things to get to, which we're going to get to in 2 minutes on the DLLS Cowboys podcast. Please hit like and subscribe while you're here. We dare you to. No, whatever channel you're on, okay? Let me talk to you about our friends at Sleeper. Our code is DLLS Boys, and that is what you need to know. You need to know it. What you do with Sleeper, with the code DLLS Boys, you get up to $100 match on your first deposit, and you have fun. You go in and you pick. You can do all sorts of different sports. I tend to do the NFL, but you can do whatever you want. You can pick, is this player going to have more or less than his projected stat line? Like Arch Manning was 1.5 touchdowns going into this weekend. You better believe I said more and he got 2. And you can stack those up and pick as many as you want. And the more picks you combine, the more you can win, all the way up to 100 times your money. That is our friends at Sleeper. So download that app, use the code DLLS Boys, and you'll get up to a $100 match on your first deposit. Terms and conditions apply. See Sleeper's terms of use for details. Currently operational in over 25 states. Check out our friends at Sleeper today. It's a lot of fun. I love having extra interest in all the different games. I think it's great. Sleeper, you're our friends. Also want to shout out our friends at Empire Today. If you can see, when we're in the wide shot, you can see the flooring that we got in this bad boy.
Some beautiful floors.
Isn't it
man.
some beautiful floors?
It's
Oh,
nice.
shiny and
It's
glistening.
really nice.
Yeah, you can kind of see now. You kind of see behind Aisha there. They're beautiful floors.
The floor.
Love it.
And if you're our friends, which you are, EmpireToday.com/DLLS, you get $350 off with our friends at Empire Today. You get shop at home convenience, the right product for your needs, quick and professional installation, and a low price guarantee. That's what they got for you. They keep shopping for floors simple. They got a curated product selection. You don't want to have 50,000 options. They whittle that down for you to just the good stuff. You know, they're
It's
not gonna
all
make
good stuff. They got all good
just
stuff.
the good stuff.
Just
And they don't give like we're going to have the lowest price guarantee, because you know who has the lowest price? The dude that's giving you bad stuff.
Crap stuff.
Bad.
You know, so you want to have
Quality.
the good stuff at the right price.
Right.
Welcome to Empire Today. EmpireToday.com/DLLS. You get $350 off. You want hardwood, you want laminate, you want carpet. I don't care what you want. Our friends at Empire Today are going to take care of you. That's what they do. EmpireToday.com/DLLS for details. Get on it. Now it's time for the Empire Today Impact Player of the Game.
Oh my God.
I wrote one down.
Do you have a one that's different than Jeff? Possibly. Don't say it.
What's yours?
Let's say it on 3. Let's say it in 3.
It's the Empire Today Impact Player of the Game that we want to shout out here. One, it can be on either team, by the way. I found that out today.
Okay, cool. Either way.
1, 2, 3.
Brandon
Derrick
Aubrey.
Henry. Who'd you say?
Hunter Lipke.
Oh, I said Derrick Henry.
I said Brandon Aubrey.
What?
He's the leading scorer again, and he even gave you the onside kick where they made the onside kick rule tougher. He's the only reason you win the game.
If you won.
If you won the game. They didn't win the game.
If you won, he
And the
didn't
reason they
win.
didn't win the game is because Derrick Henry.
That's fair.
He looks
It can be
fantastic.
anybody. But if it's if Cowboys won, is Brandon Aubrey, and for the Ravens is Derrick
He
Henry.
looks He looks and it's people were joking about it all over Twitter and stuff. Is the fact that this was an option. Like he was an option for the Cowboys in the offseason.
I made a video.
He even expressed wanting to play here.
I made a video one time, and
And-
people were like, "That's clickbait," because I was like, "There is smoke to the Derrick Henry fire," and I can kind of tell you. I can't tell you because you can't tell who
You can't
told
give
you
away your
what.
sources. Yeah.
But there is someone in the NFL that would know where Derrick Henry wanted to go,
And it was DLLS.
and they thought that was where he was going to go.
Yeah.
Because they didn't know that Dallas was going to be like, nah. They just knew what he wanted,
Yeah.
and that he wanted to leave where he was. It was the owner of the Titans.
In the
Thought
middle-
he was going to be a Cowboy.
In the middle of the game, Jerry literally in the middle of the meeting with Derek Carr, he had to be like, you know what? We're gonna go in another direction.
Yeah. Derrick Henry's an outlier. He's an alien.
Wow.
He still got it. And for him personally, not for the Cowboys today, what a great setup for him to have Lamar Jackson, where the way teams play you get to have one less guy worried about you, and then you get to get a run and start and welcome Kalen Carson to the NFL with that. Yeah.
He literally muffed him so bad. But no, I chose Hunter Lipke because we talk about this offensive line and how they're struggling or whatever. You've seen him come in and with some serious blitz pickups.
Yeah, Vach.
He's doing some blocking on the back end as well. But
Yeah,
also
Vach.
too, some of the things he's showing from a receiver standpoint, I think can help you.
Yeah, Vach.
You're not getting much from the tight end position outside of Ferg right now. He has a tight end-esque body. He does tight end-esque things.
You just saying he's a 250-pound white guy.
I mean, I'm just saying, no. I'm just saying, like, the guy, Dak trusted him in passing, in these passing situations today, and he made some good plays in the passing game. He has a natural feel for it. Get him going. If you don't get anything else, why not?
Vach tried to cut him.
Derrick Henry
Why would
would
you
be
try
good
to
here.
cut him?
Cut who?
Cut Hunter Lipke.
Well, because he hadn't had this game yet. Like he was just a guy that was on teams and that was just blocking a little bit.
It's our coach's fault they don't use him.
That ain't my responsibility. Like
Vach, who recovered the onside kick?
I don't know.
CJ Goodwin.
It was CJ. It was.
I'm
CJ.
definitely cutting his ass. He can catch 2 more of them. I'm cutting his ass.
You gotta stop it.
I'm still getting rid of it. He can hold the ball up like this. Still. Get him out of here. So what's my impact player of the game?
Yeah.
We got a super chat that's gonna do
Didn't
it
you
for
just
us.
say
Oh,
it?
okay.
Real fast. Let's see.
Brandon
Jemmins
Aubrey.
cool, kind of cool. What's up? Appreciate you. He says, I'm mad that the Ravens robbed us of an all-time 70-yard kick from Aubrey to tie.
All we had to do was get 2 more stops, right? It was a 2nd and 9 that
Yeah.
Lamar, or was it 3rd and 9 that Lamar ran?
It was 2nd and
and he
9
ran for
and
10.
3rd and 6, and it was just like, why, Lord?
We hadn't stopped the people all day, so I didn't anticipate us stopping.
They stopped him the drive before.
But it
One time.
and a couple drives before,
And some before
That's
that.
the minority.
and a couple of drives before.
That's the minority.
You know what sucks about them not getting the last stop?
Like me.
Is what it's going to do for. You know who you are out there, you people. They know who they are.
Mm-hmm.
Now people are going to say, well, yeah, of course Dak was good in the 4th quarter because it was garbage time. When it wasn't garbage time, if you would have stopped 2 more runs, you're driving to win the game.
For
yeah,
sure.
he definitely fought in that game.
But in real life, though, Brandon Aubrey's phenomenal. Like, he's incredible.
He's the most accurate kicker of all time.
Yeah, for sure. And you know, Justin Tucker's gonna get the praise because his name, like, he has that rollover credit. I always talk about rollover credit. Like, just because you are who you are, we're still gonna have faith in you.
It's enough display. I think he's displayed enough to where people are worried.
Sure. Brandon Aubrey was the best kicker in the room. He's probably the best kicker in the league right now. And it's like, I keep saying this on many different platforms. We used to gather around the TV for a 51-yard field goal. We used to be like surprised.
Oh, yeah.
He kicked the hell out of a 65 and just
47 used to be far.
and just killed it. But anyway, Brandon Aubrey, he's your best offensive player, so here's what it is.
All right, congratulations
That's
to him.
not good. That's not
impact
good.
players.
That's not good.
Oh yeah,
Tap in with us on Empire.com.
Hold on now, I didn't. Hold on now.
Just the host.
Yeah, I got to wrap up our impact
Call
player.
to action at CTA.
Yeah. Schedule a free in-home estimate today. Listeners can receive $350 off discount when they use promo code DLLS. Restrictions apply. That's our friends at Empire today. Impact player of the game.
Shouts out to Empire.
I'll get it right one of these days. One of these days, I'm gonna get the whole thing right. I'm gonna absolutely crush it.
Yeah, I mean,
For me, it was either Derrick Henry or Lamar Jackson. But again, thank God for the 4th quarter.
Yeah.
Because without the 4th quarter, I mean, I got my notebook, and we will do it. I mean, we still got we got a while to go. I got some stuff.
First word. What is it?
Which one?
First word in your notes. The first bad word you said.
Well, hold on, because it's back a
Can I
page
say
or
mine?
two. Yeah.
Do you find yours? You
Yeah,
find it?
no, go ahead, because I have lots of them. I just tried to figure out when I started putting them into one plate.
No,
go
so that's,
yeah,
kick
go
it
ahead.
out. Kick it out.
Edges. I know it's going to be a lot of Cowboy fans that love to wave their finger at Mozzie Smith. You just Mozzie. You're just looking tired, and your hands on your hips. You move with your uncle and auntie in Bel Air, Mozzie Smith. They just want to wave their hand, but your edges got whooped early and for a long, long time.
Michael Parsons was in a spin cycle.
It was a psychological whooping.
It was many different ways. It was pinning and pulling from a tight end, pinning and pulling from a receiver,
or unblocked.
You can't let a receiver block you, Michael Parsons. Pinning and pulling from tackles, or Micah doing a little bit of hero. But I don't know the play. I don't know the play call. I don't know exactly what the responsibility was. But if there's not somebody coming down the field C gap.
Yeah,
Micah's probably supposed to be in C gap, but there were some plays we just saw him going inside the B.
Yeah, the Lamar touchdown,
just to beat whoever's in front. And man, ain't it crazy? I'm no professional coach or nothing like that. I'm just a dude with a microphone and a camera and some nice little lights and floors from Empire. I'm not important at all. But man, when we visibly noticed Michael Parsons lined up over the center, didn't great things happen?
But he lined up over the center on 3rd and whatever when you knew you got to rush the passer.
Let's do some more of that on Thursday.
It doesn't.
You got to get to rushing the passer first.
Either way, though,
they
Jeff,
ran for 17.
Let me ask you this, though. Jeff. Let me ask both of y'all this. This is a football question, right? Do you think Micah is effective in a 4-point stance, 1st and 2nd down, with his hands in the dirt, and the Ravens can really do whatever they want to do? Or would he be better if he was in the middle of the field and he can run sideline to sideline because that's what he's good at?
If you tell me it's a run play,
If you
then
tell me
probably off the ball.
that would be too much substituting though.
But
Most of the
you'd have
Ravens
to know
stuff
it's a run
was-
play.
And look, this was something that really bothered me about the Ravens and what they did today. They didn't really beat you upside the head with like deep plays or like down the field stuff. They dumped it off. You just didn't tackle them, or they
Smash
ran
you
the
in
ball,
face.
or they just ran the ball. And you just didn't tackle them.
Yeah.
I think this would have been a great opportunity to just put Micah at Micah and just let him be fast from the middle of the field.
Well, yeah, the linebackers didn't. I mean, that's what I wrote down in my notes. Like, can't tackle.
Couldn't tackle.
They
Yeah.
can't tackle because at this point, you ain't tackled last week. You ain't tackled this
You
week.
say can't?
Can't
I did
tackle.
That goes into, because of the names you just said, one of the first things that I wrote was, man, life's hard when you've got parts of your team that aren't good enough already and your best players are failing you.
Man,
Like Tank gave up the edge
That's poetic
for
as
no
hell.
reason. Micah Parsons, CeeDee Lamb fumble. Like, if you're going to have my best players messing up on a team that can't afford that, that's a problem. And
Yeah.
that's what you had early in this game.
yeah. I mean, Kalen Carson had the big whiff tackle
He not one
that
of my
ended
best
up being a
players.
touchdown with Nelson. Y'all don't understand how mad I got to see Nelson Aguilar's name on the back of that jersey.
He hadn't made a play since 1971.
And that's why I was even more pissed
Nam?
off.
Somewhere in Nam.
But after that, Kalen Carson tackled well the whole rest of the game. But still, like, I just feel like there's just so many bad angles taken. And what was killing me when you talk about the edges, Vach, you could see the visible frustration and confusion from having to deal with Lamar. I mean, there were times like he was doing draw plays to himself and he's just kind of standing there like,
the play was broken. He had
Oh,
no
I
idea what he was
wanna go.
doing. He play action to no one. And
Yeah.
then there was no one there. And he goes, oh, no. And he's like, I'll just run.
I'm
an
just gonna
athlete.
go.
I'm an athlete.
I'm just going to go.
Yeah, I'm great.
and so to a defense, like I saw Micah being frustrated, I saw Tank being frustrated, and it just was a trickle down effect at that point. Like I'm tired of they have not contained well, they haven't rush contained well, and they have not been sound setting the edge. So I don't know. It's weird because you would think that Tank, and that's why I knew things was getting kind of weird because Tank ain't normally the guy to be all
Lost.
out of position,
Yeah.
lost. But I don't think he's lost. I think he knows what he's doing, and he doesn't believe that the interior of this defensive line can stop anything.
Because one of those, he went full Micah. They said, hut, and he went, yeah, that way. And there was no one over here. And they were like, well, guess we're
What?
just going to run out here where there's no one because you left.
No, in totality, I do think we'll look back at the film and we'll say that the DTs didn't play as bad as they
Oh,
were.
I disagree so
last
strongly.
I don't think Mozzie died as
I think
bad
Mozzie
as
died.
Edges did.
Dog walked.
I watched film.
The
I
whole
watched film.
time?
Well, we'll find out. We'll find out. We're all going to watch the same tape
Nah,
and we
they
can
got-
reconnoiter.
they got-
I think they got dog walked.
You think?
I thought the
Yes.
outside runs were much more damaging
Yeah.
than like runs up the middle.
They
I could
had
be wrong. I
times-
could be wrong.
They absolutely had times where in the run game, it was like, look at that. They held it, and some linebacker came in here and made a play. They absolutely had times. But we're going to have some times where we go, oh,
You
dear.
had a bone to pick with the certain linebacker.
Who, me?
Yeah.
I overshown. Yeah. He missed like 73 tackles today. And like that was my thing, is so many of the guys that we thought
Yeah.
were either your best players or guys you were super excited about. It was like, uh-oh.
Well, Jeff, to quote Aisha, him little. Him little.
He
So
not
Too
little.
little.
him
not that
little.
little. He
not too
When you
little.
see them blockers get on his ass,
Kendricks is little.
I think Kendricks
Kendrick's bigger.
deals
Kendrick's
with the
like-
blockers. Kendrick's shorter. I think Kendricks deals with blockers better. I think Micah deals with blockers better. Louis Fowl doesn't slow down. So
He
he like
just-
slips guys, but he'll run himself out of position.
He just
I
crazy.
think if a blocker get hands on Demo, I think Demo
Yeah.
goes flying.
Yeah.
All right, let's knock out a couple of these supers because we have a lot of them and we love you guys. Please like and
Oh, my
subscribe.
goodness.
We love you wherever you're watching. Jeff and Aisha and Vach, we all love you. And
Humble King. CD needs to fix his damn body language and get it together. We feel you, Humble King.
Dang.
I agree, but it's something that's just hard to do. And like, because I saw somebody earlier that was like, they paid him for this and his posture. They didn't pay him for his posture. They paid him to go ball.
Yeah.
And he will usually do that, and we're going to be okay.
Yeah.
Let's see. Will we discuss Jerry's meat watching? That might be a tomorrow thing,
No.
but you better believe I am going back to figure out, because that wasn't from this year. If anybody's telling you that was like from this year, they're wrong. Jamie Foxx wasn't at camp this year. But yes, there was a really weird Jerry thing with
I don't
Jamie
think I wanna
Foxx.
talk about
and
that.
I absolutely am going to find out what player he was talking about and what year that was. And
I
if
got a take on that, but I don't know if I can say it like on the TV like that.
Yeah.
But also, too, like, I don't think we should talk.
Okay. Haters need to learn what garbage time means. It's not garbage time if you literally have a chance to win.
Yeah.
Wait, say it again.
Flow man. Haters need to learn what garbage time means. It's not garbage time if you literally have a chance to win.
Facts.
CD, on
needs
the
to
other
get
hand,
it
needs to get it together. Why is Cavante Turpin not involved in the offense more? He's clearly the only guy who can create separation.
He's involved.
He is the only
fair.
dude that can run fast. And run
He can
fast.
he can separate, but like it's like he separates when he's being fast.
He's hard
But
to trust.
Yeah, but he
doesn't-
doesn't separate with his body or with his routes.
He's still learning control.
Yeah.
It's hard for guys that are that fast to
be
play
shaking.
under control.
He runs away from man coverage across the field. That's
Yeah.
what he does.
That's his job.
He
Cross
says,
the
bye
routes.
bye, Marlon Humphrey. Let's see where we at here.
Offense needs to run more no huddle.
It's hard when you don't get first downs and you can't block.
You can't run no huddle. You can't. Your whole offense can't be hurry up.
I want it to be. I want it to be.
The biggest problem with no huddle is that when
When you punt twice in a row.
when you're successful, it's good. But
Yeah.
if you're missing, you just punt faster.
Yeah,
If
you
you're in
just-
no huddle. Yeah, so you don't want that.
And your defense like, we just got over here. What are we
and
gotta
now,
go back?
and now the other team is on the field with like, oh, they've only sat down for a minute. You know?
Yeah.
Facts.
Gimli
Defense gets
21.
out.
How
Yeah.
do people say Dak scoring on 2 must-have drives is stat padding? We're not going to worry, but guys,
They're
look,
not
don't
smart.
even did it with CD crying. That was the impressive
What
part.
did
He
I say?
was like,
Freak
I throw
Phillips.
to-
Who is Phillips?
Yeah, he said. Dak said, you know what?
I'm gonna throw to Jalen Brooks.
It don't matter who gets
Devontae
the ball at this
Turpin.
point.
Can create
It don't
consistent
matter.
separation. Should be a clear number 3. Who's Phillips? It said Free Phillips.
Who? It must be Brooks.
Brooks was out
DT.
there.
Wait,
Unless they mean Flo knew.
no. That guy. I think that's the guy that thinks that Jordan Phillips is good.
Jordan Phillips is gone. Bye, sir. Ain't no freak.
Yeah. No, Jordan Phillips is a terrible player, and he'll never touch an NFL field again. Yeah.
I don't have
He
a
thinks
lot.
he's good. Let me make. I want to know what college you went to. That's what I want to know from you. Is this? He went to your school, didn't he? Was he an OU guy? Jordan Phillips?
Yeah, OU.
You're a Boomer Sooner, aren't you?
Oh my
Because
God.
it's not watching him play that makes you think that he's better than someone on the roster.
He's been a fan for years.
Yeah. You. What's your last name? Anyway, I am gonna go to my list. I have my list of all of the things that were terrible, awful, and wrong.
Shit, everything.
But we're not just gonna complain about it. I'm gonna see if you guys can talk me off the ledge on any of them.
Okay.
That's what we're gonna do next. But before we do, let me see. I want to talk to you about Indeed. My guys at Indeed. You need to know the code ALLCITY, ALLCITY.
Get the job.
Indeed, driven for the search for better. When it comes to hiring, the best way to search for a candidate is not to search at all. Don't search. Match with Indeed. That's my homies at Indeed. Ditch the busy work. Use Indeed for scheduling, screening, and messaging so you can connect with candidates faster. And Indeed doesn't just help you hire faster. 93% of employers agree. Indeed delivers the highest quality matches compared to other job sites, according to a recent Indeed survey. Survey? That would be a survey. So you need to use our friends at Indeed, okay? Join more than 3.5 million businesses worldwide that use Indeed to hire great talent fast. And folks, if you're listening to this show, you get a $75 sponsored job credit to get your jobs more visibility at Indeed.com/AllCity. Jordan Phillips, if you're looking for a job. Just go to Indeed.com/AllCity right now. And support our show by saying you heard about Indeed on this podcast. Indeed.com/AllCity. Terms and conditions apply. Need to hire. You need Indeed. I'm a mental health guy, so I want to be clear. Jordan Phillips, if you're listening and you're struggling in life, I love you to death.
Something going on.
I'm just making observations about football tape. But I'm cheering for you. Rugged Road. I like coolers.
What?
I like saying that.
I
love coolers.
I forgot you got a problem.
RuggedRoadOutdoors.com. Code DLLS. 10% off. They're the best coolers.
This is a good cooler.
It's the best coolers.
So you just be collecting coolers?
Well, I just need the one.
Coolers are
Rug-
great. Coolers are great.
Yeah, I just need the one.
What you mean they great?
Whenever you can keep ice frozen for like 5 days,
That's cool.
that's fire.
Yeah.
It's like a second refrigerator.
Yeah.
Do you like your refrigerator?
Yeah.
Sure.
That's why we like coolers.
What if it was smaller and it could float and it was durable?
Just
and
put it
you
in the
could
back
take
of
it
the
wherever
truck?
you want.
Well, it can float.
Yeah,
That would-
their coolers float.
That would insinuate that I would be
I bet they vacuum seal
somewhere
too,
near
huh, Jeff?
water.
Man, for sure.
Man.
Versatility, durability, dependability. RuggedRoadOutdoors.com. Use the code DLLS and you will get 10% off. It's your ultimate outdoor companion. Head to Rugged Road Outdoors. DLLS, 10% off. Okay.
You like to go camping and stuff or something?
Oh, Joe's calling?
All of my Rugged
Joe, I'll
Road
tell you
coolers
something,
are
bro.
great.
You gonna just try to jam me up like that?
Like that?
You gonna try to jam me up like that? No, we'll pop Joe in there. Please hit like and subscribe if you're here. We love you.
Please.
We appreciate you being here. Bring Joe in here. Let's see if he gonna do something. See if he wants to
Somebody
jam
said
me.
Dak has had to throw in the tight windows for 3 games. Freaky Mike has to be creative.
We gotta do something different. We gotta find a way to make easy things. Joe Hoyt joins us. He is at AT&T Stadium. Where, Joe, are you like me that if the fourth quarter never happened, I was going to be in such a different mood and tone? It's still not good or great, but boy, it was going to be awful.
Dude, so I have a headline for the takeaways every game right when we hit publish. And my takeaway or headline originally was the Cowboys show their identity and it's ugly. And that had to change a little bit, but I still feel that way after that game. There was a lot that happened, man. And I think, we're going to remember a little bit about the comeback at the end, the fight. But in the reality, there's a lot of vulnerabilities that still exist with this team.
Is there anything that we need to know? Because obviously we're on, so I don't see what people have said or whatever. So out of people who have already had their press conferences or whatever, are there big takeaways or anything that somebody said that we need to know about?
Yeah, I think just a lot of frustration from players. One guy we didn't see in the locker room during the portion open to the media was CeeDee Lamb. Showed a lot of frustration during the game, was not at his locker post-game for the media by the time it closed. We talked with Micah Parsons, who his big takeaway was, and he was really frustrated, but his big takeaway is too many guys on defense are playing Superman, was the word he said. And I asked him, like, how do you get players to stop playing Superman on defense and not do their jobs? And he said, bro, I don't know. I wish I could tell you. I think we're being tested right now. And then he started talking about how faith is tested. And, he was frustrated. We also talked with Jerry Jones about running backs and Derrick Henry. And Jerry Jones reiterated that he's happy with the running back choices and the running back by committee.
Hell yeah.
You know what?
Hell yeah.
Joe, I'm going to let you finish, but that's going to piss me off. I'm going to let you finish, but that right there.
No, I'm finished. I'm finished. You go.
Denial, my guy, is we're really taking it to a different level at this point.
So
yeah,
I'm mad.
Joe, let me ask you a question. Vice Lombardi, by the way. Let me ask you a question. So, Jerry probably lies to us loudly, but he probably thinks something different deep down inside. If your last name was Jones and nobody could fire you, would you be more mad at the coaches or at the players? Not mad, right? But would you be more, all right, I'm going to fire these coaches, or I need to bring in more players because we're not good there?
Well, I think there's only one option, to be honest, because, in terms of bringing more players, like, who are you going to bring in, right? Like, Jeff tweeted about it during the game. It's like, are you going to trade for 2 defensive tackles, a running back, another wide receiver to make plays? In reality, this team entered the season with coaches all on expiring contracts, and that kind of feels like the extent of that, you know what I mean? Like, that kind of feels like the only change possible moving forward if things were to go right, like they are.
Yeah. Anything else that we got to have? Anything else we got to have that's digging in your craw?
Everybody healthy? Not that it matters, but everybody healthy? It does matter.
We'll see. Tyler Smith said we got to stay neutral after this and not get too high, too low with it. I feel like that's difficult. I asked Jerry Jones if there's a blueprint now to defeat them, and he's like, I wouldn't go that far, but we have to fix the run defense. So, there's that.
Interesting. All right, we appreciate you, Joe. We'll see you tomorrow.
Thank you, Brody.
Later, guys.
Okay, so let me see here.
Jeff, two big deals that you used last year or whatever, right? I know Brandon Cooks is not good to you right now, but last year Brandon Cooks and Gilmore were a decent boost for you, right? And those were 5th round pick trades or whatnot.
Yep.
And you have a lot of comp picks this year.
Yep.
Because you let a lot of Cowboys go.
4 of them.
I understand you just can't go hit the streets and be like, all right, this ain't Madden. All right, let's go get Justin Jefferson and let's bring Aaron Donald out of retirement and let's do this.
We can go get NFL players, though.
But do you think it's realistic to take a couple of them 5ths, maybe one of your 4ths? I'll move a 2. Because
you bad at 2 anyway.
You're bad at 2. I would find a good player that may be disgruntled, that may be on a team that's not good right now, and I will finally get out of my own way. If my last name was Jones and I couldn't get fired, bro, we need to win right now. I'm going to take this 2, and I'm going to see if I can go find a dude. Devontae Adams mad over there in Vegas right now.
Yeah.
Can I go get a dude like that just to help me out?
We could go pay more than we got when we gave him away for Amari Cooper.
F it. Blow it up.
No, it is like it's easier said than done, but it's doable, right?
Sure.
Like there aren't a ton of teams
The
who are
Eagles do
like,
it all
hey,
the time.
I'm selling right now after 3 weeks into season. But there are teams out there that whatever their rotations are or somebody's contract or whatever, I promise you there is someone that plays defensive tackle that is gettable that is better than what you have.
And it just is affecting your whole offense. Like as when Micah says that they're playing hero ball or Superman ball, whatever the case may be. I think it's
he's part of it.
And again, I think that was a bit of an admission, but a bit of an admission. But I think that this is just the result of you feeling like they're watching the same tape we are. They can feel that push. They can see that, and I just think that it's also kind of maybe like a natural thing to do when you're just like How do I continue to just play my gap if I know that
somebody else ain't going to do their job? I got to try to get this play made.
And that's where they are. And so so you would do DT over running back.
Oh yeah. But we got something.
I gotta cut y'all off, man.
Voch has to handle something.
Zach Golston said he dropped 200 in our super chat because he loves us to pieces. He said, "Sir Voch, as you know, I'm a very optimistic boys fan, but this defense is straight up ass. I can say ass, cat. It's straight up ass in the last 2 games. We need to fix it immediately by any means necessary. I think the offense needs to start the game with the 2-minute offense to get the momentum. Love y'all, appreciate you." And Zach Golston also hit me in my own personal situation because he loves the show. He taps in with the show, and he was basically saying that he's a very optimistic Cowboy fan. I've seen between the last few weeks, and he don't think that we'll make the playoffs unless the Joneses pull their head out their ass and trade for some players to fill out. I can say ass, cool.
You just said that.
I just want to make sure. Pull their head out their ass with lemon booty and trade to fill out the obvious lack of dues. Zach Ghost, appreciate you, sir, for holding down the Voch Lombardi channel and holding us down here at DLLS, sir.
Yeah. You know what he didn't say? And I know he didn't say.
What did he say?
He didn't say nothing about no lemon booty.
He didn't?
No,
I know
you
he
said
didn't.
that.
And this TV further away than the other. I couldn't see.
The typing is a little bit small.
I thought he said something about lemon.
Ribo's in the super chat.
No.
I'm taking my second rounder and calling Vegas right now. I don't care. You want to win? Let's saddle up and go make deals.
No, seriously, y'all though, what's besides the DT thing?
Yeah.
What's going on with this defense?
That's a great tease, Aisha. We're going to talk about it in 60 seconds. We're going to talk about what's going on with this defense, and I have a list of things that y'all going to talk me off the ledge about, or you're not, and we're just going to freak out and be sad together, okay? That's what's going to happen.
Tater tots.
But before we get there, hold on, I got one more. I got to find my one more piece of paper. I put them in the wrong order. But, yeah, I'm just going to wing it. Hey, listen, I'm just going to wing it. Please hit like and subscribe.
Please.
And if you're enjoying this content, wherever you're watching, I know we're on Voch's channel, my channel, and on the youtube.com/@DLLS_sports. We want you to make sure you're following that bad boy. And we want you to sign up to be a diehard on alldlls.com because that's the hookup, is being a diehard. We have multiple beat writers. We have beat writers for every team in this town. We are your one-stop shop on DLLS Sports for DFW Sports. If you're a diehard of all the local teams, we got shows for all 4 teams. We got writers for all 4 teams. We got pre- and post-game shows for all 4 teams, all in one place. And we got some premium content as well, which if you sign up to be a diehard, you get access to the premium written content. You get access to a free t-shirt every year, and you get 20% off all of our merch, and you get 20% off all of our events, and you get access to the members-only Discord server where we're hanging out. You want to talk about the Stormlight Archives books with me? We can do that. Nobody else even knows what that means. Voch, don't look at me like that. Just sign up to be a diehard. That's what you got to do. You get your little carrying card. I call it a carrying card. I don't know, I'd probably call it a membership card. I like to say carrying card. You get all those things if you sign up to be a diehard. Okay.
Showing your age there.
Okay. So what's going on with this defense? Okay.
Yeah. I kind of want to know, because when we're looking at it, the DT thing matters. It does.
Yeah, it's huge.
But the rest of the team, this is basic fundamentals.
Okay.
Sure.
Ready? You guys ready for my list of things? I'll just do the defensive ones first because I want your help too.
Tackling, setting the edge,
me,
angles.
You can ask me, and then I'll also ask you, and we can all talk about it.
Okay, go ahead.
So number 1, here's what I'm going to say. I wrote down, this is when they were down by 7,000 points.
Okay.
Remember Cowboys win because, Cowboys lose because, and we all said Cowboys lose because Lamar Jackson and Derrick Henry run for 250 and 3 touchdowns. Dang. I bet that's about exactly what they got. But anyway, the defensive tackles aren't NFL players. So what I'm going to say, I'm going to make a statement. You tell me if I'm wrong and if there's a fix. The D tackles aren't NFL players.
238 yards.
They're not NFL starters.
I think Osa is an NFL player. And maybe a starter, but when they're going to run the ball at him, that's going to be his weakness. The other guys, I say, aren't NFL players. They can't be on an NFL field.
I would like a little more from Osa. I mean, Osa is really
a run defender.
See, Osa's really good at whooping a dude.
Yeah.
There's a lot of football stuff that goes in after you whoop the guy. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes Osa can get washed in the mess because he's fighting and whooping so hard.
And that's something I've talked to him about and that he wanted to work on through his game is developing a counter. Because that's something he struggles with. But I will say, as far as Osa goes, Osa's been a 3-tech since you drafted him, and you have not placed a solid nose tackle next to him for him to do 3-tech things his whole career. And I feel that we do want him to be better.
Yeah.
However,
but
he's only doing what he can.
I think they just have to add somebody. They have to.
They have to.
Or Mozzie has to just get better on a real fast curve.
And there's no guarantee that, even though I do think that he did have good spurts in this game, he did play better in this game. But that's all I got. It's still not to
Jeff,
the quality you're talking about.
Jeff and Aisha, let me ask you this. Let's just say hypothetically, right? My last name was Jones, and I can't get fired.
And
And
it's not going to be Jones, and you're not okay.
let's just say, let's just say,
for
He
this.
just does it. He does it all the time.
let's
Jones
just
is-
say I called the Washington Football Wizards,
yeah.
and I'd be like, how much is it going to cost me to turn one of them Wizard Jonathan Allen pies into Cowboys Jonathan
Okay,
Allen
you're
pies?
going with the movie Life. I like that.
How much is it going to cost to do that?
Why do you
Yeah.
know that movie?
I'm impressed. I wasn't gonna say it because it made me.
I love that movie.
Does Jonathan Allen make the defense better?
Yes.
Of course he does. But does he stop the nonsense that if he was on the field today, would the Ravens still do what they do?
But that's what
He
I'm
would help,
asking.
but he's not a nose either.
He's
right.
You need a.
But I mean, he can at least
He can go there. He can
compete.
he can.
That's what I'm asking. Is this bigger than just the DT thing? I do think that the DT thing can have that much of a trickle down effect. Clearly, however,
Is Zimmer garbage?
this is tackling. This is
Angles.
also
Setting the
angles.
edge.
This is vision. This is basic level football stuff that this defense isn't doing right now. That ain't got nothing to do with the
It
DT.
sounds like what you're saying is we need to go back to Jeff's list.
Oh my muffins!
I'm going to make a statement.
I'm about to cry.
You tell me if I'm wrong
Shucks.
and if there's a fix. These linebackers were overrated by us.
And it's hard because of the trickle down effect as well. Like, these guys are being asked to do more than what they were doing, than what they should be doing. And we've seen what they look like when DTs. And again, it's not always going to be pretty, but it's still like, what is you giggling so hard about?
If you called Jonathan Allen, if your last name was Jones,
And you couldn't
if
get
your
fired.
last name was Jones, you couldn't get fired. And you called the Washington Football and you had Jonathan Allen. Would your linebackers be better if you had Jonathan Allen?
Yes.
I think they would be, yes.
Yes,
Okay.
they have been. And again, I will say, even today, though, even when the DTs blocked it up, we had some guys whiffing tackles, taking bad angles, whatever. So it's like, yeah, is the DT going to make them more confident? Possibly, yes. But they need to play more sound, man.
Yeah.
I'm going to make a statement. You tell me if I'm wrong and if there's a fix. This wasn't a huge one today because they, once again, didn't have to drop back to pass very many times. Cowboys only have one pass rusher.
I talked about this before this
If
started.
your name was Jones, if your name was Jones,
I will fight you so
and you couldn't get fired, and you finally had
And you called.
Jonathan Allen in the middle, would your
Pass rushers.
would your edges be better
Yep.
if your one tech was taking a double team? How many times you watch film? Both of y'all watch film. How many times you watched film versus Saints last week, and they said, you know what, we're gonna block this one tech one-on-one because we can.
Every play.
The disrespect.
Every play.
That goes along with what you said, Jeff,
Every
about
play.
them. You feeling like these DTs are not
But not NFL players.
to that quality because they're not. Other teams aren't even acknowledging you enough to do double teams, which is not open up your pass rush. However, I will say this pass rush, like outside of Micah and Tank, and I do think that Tank has taken a little bit of a step backwards.
But he
It's
can
a
at
time-
least
he's
pressure
getting
and
older,
do some stuff.
whatever.
Some stuff.
But you're not getting nothing outside of like Marshawn Nealon is still developing a pass rush ability and stuff like that. So where else you getting it from? And you might get it from your linebackers, but baby, people think they can run on you.
Sure.
So you can't even open up the blitz and stuff like that because you're not getting in positions.
Both of you guys.
Okay, so no, you don't. Fine.
How
Dang.
far out do you think we are from Shaq Lawson coming in and doing anything? And do you think that he can make some kind of change?
Carl.
What'd I say?
He
said
played
Shaq.
today.
Shaq. Carl Lawson played today?
He played a couple snaps
He at
today.
least got pulled up from the practice squad. I did not see him. I didn't notice him.
I ain't noticed.
But I know that
I
he
take
got
it back.
elevated.
If I'm not
I
mistaken,
know
he
he got
played a
elevated.
couple
We need to
sacks
call and
today.
watch football. If Carl Lawson was Shaq, Carl. If
Carl!
Carl Lawson was out there today, if he was out there today and I ain't noticed him that bad, we need to call to watch football Wizards and get somebody from over
Carl.
Okay, you know what? I'm
It's
done.
Shaq, ain't it?
I'm done asking you defensive questions. No, it's not Shaq. It's Carl.
What else? You got offensive
It's
ones?
the Auburn one. Shaq was the one that played with the Bills forever or for a while.
You got offensive ones?
I do have
Shaq's
offensive ones, or I was going to go to yell at Jerry for a minute because it's always fun for me.
You want to yell at Jerry? Joe had a good tweet about it.
Oh, Joe had a good tweet I could yell at Jerry with? Where is it? Okay. Jerry Jones was asked by Matt Mosley if watching Derrick Henry made him wish he signed him. Why can't you buy a mansion when you live in a different type of house?
He just can't answer the question.
We couldn't afford it. You can't make that all fit. Simple as that. Henry's on a 2-year, $16 million deal. The Cowboys have $20 million in cap space right now. 25, I think.
Yeah.
Jerry's lying to you. He does it all the time. And that's not even what I'm mad at him about. Like, if he gets to you, like I had people tweet me today, it was like, well, yeah, Dak is obviously not going to have as much around him because, he's got all the money and they don't have the money to spend and they don't have that.
Why do they
Just
keep
know
doing
that?
that?
If you are saying that and you think that, you are Jerry's favorite customer because you are eating up everything he's saying to you and it's a lie.
Jerry really made me sick though.
That's really I'm gonna get upset
He's
myself.
deflecting and he think we crazy.
Yeah.
And he think he could just use some little Arkansas ass tagline that can get us up out of there.
Look, we can't circumcise a mosquito and sign a guy.
A mosquito.
Jerry Jones, do you think we can be better at running back? Well, just because you're laying in the bed don't mean that you're asleep necessarily. What they got to do with what I just said, man? Answer the question.
When
do it, Jeff.
I tell you, is it Vooch? Vooch, is it?
He would call me Vok.
Vok.
He would call me Vok for sure.
It sounds so
tell you,
dry.
With a hard K.
And running back, and we have and did and do, and Zeke running back. And I tell you, it is a lot like circumcising a mosquito. And in that way, we running back.
You the media he talking about. He was talking about your head.
That's the list I made for Jerry. This is my list for Jerry. So he said about the Cowboys running backs that only the media is saying that, and I guess they're just trying to be right or something because they thought that was going to happen, and our running backs are incredible. That's what Jerry said. So I just want to tell you all the things that only the media said going into the season, before the season. And you guys can back off of any of these if you didn't say them. But these are just a few that I had that only the media is saying, and we don't know what we're talking about.
You ever tried to wipe your butt with your left hand?
I have.
I think it's possible, isn't it?
It's weird. Yeah, it's just awkward. The operation's a little weird.
I'm
Please,
sorry,
Jeff,
I
go.
don't. Y'all
Please.
stop.
Only the media said you should re-sign Tyron Smith. Your left tackle's doing great.
Probably should have re-signed Tyron Smith.
He could be your right tackle. The
Why
left
wouldn't
tackle that
he?
you have could be your right tackle. He played right tackle in college, matter of fact. And you had the money to re-sign Tyron Smith, so don't pretend you didn't. Only the media were saying you should probably draft a running back.
Yeah, we need a running back.
How are yours doing? Only the media said, boy, you need to sign a defensive tackle and probably a linebacker.
But Jeff,
only the media said.
But not just any D tackle, because they found some D tackles, but we wanted some
real
dudes.
one.
We wanted some dudes.
Oh, we wanted a real one.
Fair enough.
Oh, a real
Boy,
one.
we should probably find wide receiver 3.
Don't cuss.
Only the media said that. And only the media said, if it don't cost too much, probably bring back Stephon Gilmore. Boy, it'd be nice to have him out there right now. So all the things that only the media says, and we don't know what we're talking about, we're just trying to drive narratives.
Yeah.
Us who don't know what we're talking about and are just trying to drive whatever narratives we came up with, all of those narratives are the reason your team got your ass kicked today.
Tell him.
Yep.
I'm not going to scream like that, but you tell him.
I don't mean to scream in this studio because it makes an echo.
You tell him.
So I'd like to apologize. But anyway, those are just the things that the media were saying.
Man, when I hear angry Cowboy fans call this like a lame duck type situation or, oh, well, we're just trying to move on to da-da-da, blah, blah, blah. I like, oh, man, that's nonsense. There's no way you just punt a year, you know what I mean? There's Jerry Jones love to come on the television and be like, hey, I'm 97 years, how the hell here? I'm 97 years old.
81.
I ain't got too many more cracks at bat. And he'll make you feel like, okay, well, Jerry's dying and he's being urgent.
Yeah.
This really felt like
He ain't urgent.
It's gaslighting to the 10th power.
we'll try again next year or something. You know what I mean?
He ain't urgent.
Let's tap in with
Clarence
this.
is
Let's
here.
get to Clarence. Let's get to Clarence, and we please like and subscribe while you're here. We're
Let's,
gonna get to Clarence. We're gonna knock out some super chats. We got just a couple more things we got to knock out here. Let's see what Clarence
Let's
is doing.
not be taken aback by his excitement. when it
He's
comes
not
on.
going to be excited that they lost, Aisha. That is irresponsible and reckless. We're looking for Clarence Hill. Let's see. What's up? Why are you smiling? Hey, Clarence.
That's an exciting man.
Because I heard y'all
mate.
talking about me. I heard y'all talking about me like I'm being excited. I'm not an I told you so type of guy.
I told you. I am.
Don't. I know you are. I'm not a told you so type of guy, but I will say that y'all called me crazy last week about the possible 5 or 12. I just wanted. I will say
and
that.
11. That's because you said 5 and 11, and that's not possible.
Well, I said 5'11" because I got 5'11" on the brain. I've been covering this thing a long time.
Yeah.
I was referencing the Campo era. So it was 5'11", 5'11". You know, we're not going to get lost in the details of 5'12". The point is, it was a season that went a ride. Talking to Mike McCarthy, you know, obviously the run game was disappointing and demoralizing. He said that the team played like they practiced. They didn't practice well this week.
Oh, did he say that before the game, or did he say that after the game? Because I hate that crap.
He said after the game they didn't practice well this week. And, you know, obviously, sometimes you don't play well. You practice well, you don't play well. Sometimes you don't practice well, you play well. But this time they played like they practiced with all the mistakes and miscues. And so he talked about that. One thing that stood out from Dak Prescott, I know y'all talked to Joe while I was talking to Dak Prescott. He kept bringing up professionalism. I don't know if he was talking about CD, but he kept bringing up professionalism and guys being in the right place and doing the right things, and even when you're not here, when you're not in the building, and he and Mike McCarthy talked about looking at the man in the mirror, you know, and that's something, and you know, obviously Michael Parsons talked about that as well. You know, dealing with the man in the mirror, because this is a man in the mirror type situation right now. And I think Jerry Jones is looking at the man in the mirror based on his comments after the game.
Yeah. The only guy that is involved in this organization that I think never says, "I'm starting with the man in the mirror." Oh yeah,
Right.
I'm asking him to change his ways. Jerry's the only one that doesn't do that, Clarence.
No, he doesn't want to do that at all. And one thing, like Mike and Dak talked about the fight and how they looked at the end. And I asked him, do you have to guard against a false sense of security that we fix things in the fourth quarter in this hurry up offense? Like everything is good now. You see, we fix things because it can be fool's gold. I knew they were going to come in here and talk about how they fought and hustled to the end and everything else, but we can't overlook 28-6. Because 28-6 may be closer to who they are than what we saw at the end. And this Ravens team is known to give up leads. They did that last week to a Raiders team that lost to Carolina, got blown out by Carolina.
Yeah. Well, Clarence, I can't wait. Yeah, go ahead.
No, go ahead. You can answer.
Oh, I was just going to say thank you for your time, and I look forward to being with you tomorrow so that you can start the show with I don't want to say I told you so, and then proceed to tell us so.
Well, I'm just saying, I've been through this. I've been through these wars before. I've seen things go off the rails before here. And I know what it looks like.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, we're looking to break the curse of Clarence, and it starts tomorrow. It starts with us. All right, we'll see you tomorrow, Clarence.
Bye, Clarence.
All right, let's knock down these super chats. All you people who support the show, who support everybody that's up here, we love you, and you're gonna get your time here. 88 is tired of being the only real option. Well, 88 need to maybe stay locked in a little bit. Last 3 home games outscored by 52 points in the first set. Lunatic, I don't want to know that.
Yo.
Mike is in here. Mike Harris. Dak threw for almost 400 yards, 2 touchdowns, and ran a touchdown. He's not trash. Clearly just that was in trash time. You need vertical and seam routes by Ferg and Turp to pull double coverage away from CD. You got to block too.
The vertical routes from Brandon Cooks were there. We just couldn't hit on
the one to Tolbert was kind of there. Dak left it inside. We need a little more out there.
Mm-hmm.
A little more. See, I can tell you when Dak messed up.
Like, that's what I've been looking for them to do, to at least attack downfield and show that they'll do it. Hopefully they connect on it some point in time.
Cowboys 615. Dak has to throw in tight windows the last 3 games. Freaky Mike need to be creative and freaky.
I got some words for Mike McCarthy.
Freaky Mike is Mike McCarthy. That's what Jesse called him when he was getting hired.
I don't know why he called him
He liked Freaky Mike. Brandon J, is it fair to say CD has that Amari Cooper gene when things aren't going right? He was here when CD was a rookie. Could be a thing to monitor. Most receivers kind of do, especially the ones that are really good.
Every wide receiver except like Jerry Rice and Larry Fitzgerald got that kind of gene in them.
Yeah, Larry just be like, it's okay.
He's like, all right.
He was so cool.
All the rest of them fuss and complain about is cool.
All is well. Why are we talking offense when defense ran for 200 plus?
Yeah, no, that's fair.
I think we covered it.
No, we talked about it. It was equally as bad.
Mm-hmm. I've been critical of the offense because, the Cowboys scored 22 points, 21 points?
25, 28, 25?
Really? 25.
If the Cowboys offense was a little more creative, you probably could have put up like 40 something.
Don't fumble.
That's just how I feel. And I think a lot of your offense is why your defense looks kind of crazy sometimes, right? Like sometimes you can put points on the board to put pressure on the defense, and the defense play what we're good at. We're a much better pass rushing defense. But if we can't score points, if they just score one time or two times, they can run the ball all day. We're not a good run defending defense. Yeah. So one way to stop this ain't right, y'all. We should be able to stop the run and all that. I get it. But if my defense isn't good at stopping the run, one way to deal with that is to put points on the board. And if we don't put points on the board to the fourth quarter, they're going to be stopping the run all day.
That's why they took it. That's why they took it. That's why they took it.
They knew they needed to.
No more of the deferring stuff. That's a risky business.
DK, everything that the Cowboys do on both sides of the ball makes it look like the other team has more players on the field. I think that's kind of true.
And it don't even always be the case sometimes.
I honestly find that very funny.
Strangers be making plays. I'm like, man, who is this stranger?
Yeah.
Trent Simpson ain't no world beater, but he looked fast against us.
Nuh-uh.
He gonna be horrible next week.
Poku fan, the high-powered offense is in there. Like, where'd you go? Like you tweeted, Vach. Somebody got to get cussed out.
Yeah,
they got to play fast and open it up like we saw in the fourth. You can't if you get a penalty on the first play.
So context to that, I tweeted and I was like, well, last year around like week 8. I heard it was CD, but somebody cussed Mike McCarthy out.
It was earlier.
Yeah, it was like week 5 or 6, 4 or 5. Yeah, whenever CD got tired not getting the ball.
Offense really turned up around week 8, but Mike got cussed out around week 6.
Okay.
So in my mind, I was like, all right, should we cuss him out now?
Yeah.
You should have been cussing last
She should have been cussed out last week. But do we cuss him out now so that we can get some more emotion in this thing? Our emotion numbers got to be like bottom of the league right now.
Yeah.
And we beat the hell out of teams when our emotions is like in the 70s.
And I know we're doing super chats, but just to add on to that, you have enough film at this point to see that this offensive line is struggling.
Yeah.
Why are you not doing anything to help this offensive
They're keeping
line?
people in and chipping and stuff.
That's what they're doing?
Yeah.
That's what they're doing?
And that's taken away from
you
the
know what
offense.
I've seen? You know what I've seen? Offenses, especially your tackles. I've seen offenses do things where they know their offensive line isn't powerful, so they get them on the move. They move them, they shift them, they do different things. Like this playing straight up is just not beneficial for your tackles right now.
I do think part of that, well, I don't know. I'm not going to give them that credit. I would say part of it in my brain would be like, guys, if we start standing still, I can't move people.
No, and
here's an example, Jeff. If I was calling the plays.
Maybe that's why.
If I was calling the plays and Tyler Guyton's getting whooped real bad, instead of just making Tyler Guyton block that guy, I'm going to go, let me read option this way so we can read that guy that's whooping the hell out of Tyler Guyton.
Yes.
See if you can block that linebacker.
Or let me run a screen off of him. Or let's pin and pull to get Tyler out in space and let somebody else just kind of deal with it.
Yes.
There's ways as a coach, and I'm just a dude with a microphone and a camera and some Empire floor and some lights. Yeah. But as a coach, there's ways you can protect your guys that aren't playing well. And Mike McCarthy hasn't done a good job.
If your last name was Jones and you couldn't get fired. Rybo, listen, folks, I think we need to call this how it is. The team isn't good. They have great pieces, maybe 6-7 guys, but this team is slow, soft, outdated, boring, lack the drive and effort, so awful. I do think that's possible.
We're not going to argue with you.
Trevon Williams, they paid Lamb to make plays and maintain a posture. You can't drop passes, fumble in red zone, and then pout like a child. This was completely poor performance by 88, period. I think that's true, but I don't think that it's like means that it's indicative of who he is and going to be and all that. It's like, yeah, he will have some issues when things aren't going well.
CD's very tough. CD's very competitive, and he's just like us. He just wants things to be a little better. But it's just that we got millions of people watching him, and there's maybe like 5 people watching him.
Well, we got millions. Look at the Super Show. We got millions. We got millions of watches.
Flames in the chat, please. You know, not a whole bunch because we lost, but just a few flames in the chat here and there. Thanks for tuning in. Appreciate y'all.
Josh, Dak showed up. CD and defense didn't. End of story. Guillotine 06. I want to get a guillotine at the house.
Shouts out a guillotine.
Where are the easy buttons on offense? I wish.
You want a guillotine at the house?
You want to get a guillotine?
Because I think they're cool.
Do you know what a guillotine is?
Yeah, cut your head off. Yeah, you put it.
See, that's why I carry stuff on.
I picture something.
Don't pull out weapons on the show, Vach, please.
I feel like I would be submitting you. That's what I was thinking about.
No, I wouldn't use it on people.
Because that's where my mind went.
No, I would just have it.
What, you gonna cut carrots with it?
And no, I wouldn't use it at all. It
Get
would
a
just
knife.
be in the backyard. When do we get to have a home field advantage again?
It don't exist no more.
The Ravens were loud, and we probably should have asked Joe and Clarence, but the Ravens fans seemed loud in there.
I think Cowboys fans left.
Cowboy fans shut up easy. Yeah. Trevon Williams, don't care who the number 2 wide receiver is. 4 has 0 time. Popeye Peach, I like that. Jerry needs to hire Duke Manyweather full-time to fix this O-line. He don't have to. He gets his money to do his thing.
Duke like making his own money.
Josh, we have a defense with glaring flaw and an offense that is one-dimensional. That's on the front office. Yes, most of this is Jerry's fault. I think most of you know that. Dollar, I need to see Dak going off on someone. That would be fun. Get him out of character a little bit. S.E. Johnson, I'm a big fan of CD as anyone, but he is a crybaby, man, at times. He got the bag, but is dropping passes more than usual this year. This is camp. It's just his camp. Don't even worry about it. Jamal got a Madden this loss off to relieve stress. Dizzy, need another wide receiver and DT and running back. FR, I know what that stands for. JR, we needed some thumpers on defense.
JR the mailman. You got to say the mailman.
JR, the
You got
mailman.
some thumpers on defense. They just
gotta say the
missing
mailman.
tackles, taking bad angles,
They need to
and
thump
worried
less.
about their D tackles.
Break the hell down. Andrew, did our front office overestimate our skill guys based on the defense, or did they overestimate the run defense based on... That was Jerry again. They overestimated their guys because they didn't want to sign new guys. They just wanted to convince you that their guys would be fine.
Young guys got to step up.
Solid Duck is a good name.
Duck.
This be the funnest 6-11 season. This is not gonna be a fun season. Like the fourth quarter was fun, but before that they looked like a bad and boring team, and that's
Y'all,
not
please,
fun.
Please.
KC podcast from the closet. We got a front runner mentality. How do we fix that? I don't know. Mike is
Run
pass
the
rush
front.
linebacker. Yeah, run front, not a DN. 240 versus 340, and the run equals L. She said, "Can't."
You ain't getting all of them.
I felt it. We're getting all of them. Watch this. Anthony. This team is missing 3 things every winning team needs. 1, strength. 2, pride. 3, heart. Michael. Cooks is cooked as number 2. Who's that? Flo is the... Oh, we got to get him active
Larry
first.
Crane.
Larry Crane. Can we just do like last year, put the ball in Dak's hands because the run game is a no-go?
That's kind of what they did in the second half.
Is that the same one from Zach, or is that another one? Okay. We them boys. Jerry wants a top 10 pick. Aisha is sick of y'all. Are you sick of us? You sick of our stuff?
I'm sick of them. I'm sick. I'm pissed that we have to watch this film. I'm serious. Like I know, like everybody just be thinking there's nothing, but this annoys me to have to break down this film.
Botch, 2 Eyes, and Jeff, love you. Needed this therapy.
Puro
Clarence-
pinche Cowboys. You know?
What?
They lunatic.
Puro pinche Cowboys.
Oh, okay.
Puro
Zach-
pinche
Zach said Clarence
Cowboys.
RQQ to the good bros.
know what that mean.
Michael, thank y'all for being here for our mental health. You're welcome.
Pray for ours.
Lammy,
Thank
appreciate you. Cooks is officially a number 3 wide receiver. I agree, maybe 4. Can we trade for
gonna
Derrick
trip
Henry?
you.
No, we can't trade for Derrick Henry. Dak was perfect. Okay.
Wasn't perfect.
You trying to
Okay.
be funny? You're trolling. You're trolling.
Daniel, since Cowboys can't draft a DT, we should trade a draft pick and use some of this cap space. Facts.
Zach going crazy.
Zach's back.
Zach going crazy. I'm the designated Zach reader. That's dope.
Yeah, you gotta
be. Shouts out to my guy Zach Ghost. On my channel, he actually has his own drop, so we'll think about that. If we're in an obvious pass rush heavy defense that relies on having the other team in third and long, which
Is apparently our bread and butter.
apparently our bread and butter. Okay, cool. Maybe we can take the talent. It's far away, Zach. I'm sorry. It's far
Maybe
away.
we can
this
take
look.
that talent and run some run scheme stunts.
Run scheme stunts.
Stunts in the run game is dangerous. That's
Yeah.
how you get out of position.
Well, that's what
That's
happened
how you
with Dan
lose
Quinn.
lanes. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what happened with Dan Quinn. Yes.
Yeah. I didn't the over aggressive and get you
The
killed.
problem with Dan though is like they was doing it on their own. Like they were just
They could call. They had free will to call their stunts
Yeah.
with Dan Quinn.
Micah said he still has that. Like he gets to pick
Mike
where
can.
he rushes and how.
he needs permission to do anything.
Okay. No. Are we gonna read all of them?
Do we have? Is this the bottom of it? Yeah. I
Okay,
didn't
tracking
expect the
that.
Ravens to start 0-3. To be fair, 1 game at a time. Everyone. I'm delusional. Get back game Thursday. Dak was perfect.
Please.
Notice how the O moved once Dak made calls, not Mike McCarthy. Fair point. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you for all of your super chats.
They lost and y'all were still here.
I would have
That's
read them
their
later.
favorite.
Huh?
They gonna fill
I
up
just
in
read them
here.
later. Like if it was too much for y'all, I'd have just read them.
No,
later.
I wanted them to
Nothing's
be
ever
read.
too much.
Oh, okay. It's
No.
all good.
But as far as these coaches go,
Oh, you still gonna do a postgame show?
Oh, cool.
no. As far
Any
as
time
these,
to go?
no.
Yeah, it was 10, 12 minutes.
It's an hour. What time?
It was an hour 15.
Oh, tater tots. It's time to go.
Yeah, oh yeah. Aisha gonna tell you all about whatever she was about to say.
I'll
She's
see
gonna
y'all
tell you
tomorrow.
the hell out of that
She
tomorrow.
enjoyed this show.
Dak is so greedy and selfish. Yeah, that's how we're gonna end it. Thanks, Captain Thunder. Remember, we have no idea what anyone's going through. So be cool to everyone. We
I'll
love
read
you.
them
Be
later,
easy.
y'all. Tabby, I appreciate
Bye.
y'all. DLLS. Shouts out to y'all dropping up on us. You know what I'm talking about? Thanks to everybody on the Jeff page, everybody on my page. Y'all hold it down, man. We'll catch y'all next week. Peace. Thursday.
We all silly like the mayor.